Hello and welcome back to Reddit League Season 5. Today, Week 6, Russia. Last week in Idaho, I was actually really happy, as you could probably tell from, well, my reactions. And then it turns out it was like the third worst score. But, well, at least I still got a bonus point for, well, not a bonus point, but I still got the point for a draw, of course, from it. Which means I'm still in fifth with 8 points now. Only 3 points ahead of 8th place, though, so still very far away from safety. And yeah, I think this is probably the last map of the season that I will really have to have practiced a lot for, because afterwards it's a hard world, which is basically just. I hope we won't be in Indonesia. Other than that, I should be fine mostly. And yeah, just, I don't know, hope we have a good seed, but I can't really practice much for that. Then we've got Europe, which the same is true. I hope we won't be in Greece. But other than that, yeah, hope we won't be in France, considering the rest of the division. But yeah, it should be fine. Don't think it need to practice or can practice much for that. And then we've got Canada, which I also don't think I need or can practice too much for because, well, we've had Saskatchewan before, so I'm still fairly familiar with that. I think landscape wise, you got a pretty clear disparity between something like, I don't know, Yukon or BC or Ontario or, some of the more central states like Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. Probably the only thing I'm going to specifically look at that I know how to tell it apart is the highway shields basically, and probably also state flags and maybe which states have a front license plate requirement. Maybe I'll look a bit at how or what to do in like the eastern states like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, just because I feel like you very rarely get rounds there, so I'm probably not fully prepared for what would happen if we do. But yeah, so this is probably the last one I've really got to practice a bit for. And I I mean I did practice quite a bit. I did say last week that I might just, sack it off and be like, well, whatever. I'm probably not gonna get any points anyway, but I did give it my best shot. I practiced mostly, well, out of, things that you could learn, for example. The one thing I did was the phone area codes. You don't see them incredibly often, but especially in cities, they do come around often enough that they're very helpful and very good to know. Obviously, if you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you're probably also not going to find a phone area code. So I did also have a look at getting a bit comfortable with just landscape guessing. Uh, Whether I've gotten comfortable with that or not, well, it's okay, I suppose. But yeah, so let's get into it. We're playing against Orpheus today, and hopefully, well, a win would be fantastic. But again, same as always, if I can pick up any points, then that's going to be a good thing. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. Nothing we can do other than give it our best shot. Maybe get a few points. Not points in the table. Do you get some points? A few, potentially. Let's go. All right. Very dry here. We have something that could be interesting. If I can get a bit of a better angle on it. No, I can't make out anything useful. What about this one? Uh, yeah. Smaller towns. Probably not helpful. York something. If we actually get to a stage where it might be useful, we can, you know. I know how it starts at least. All right, put a checkpoint here. Let me try the other way. Although We did see the signs that we did see did point this way, but we can just quickly check. If maybe here we see some signs pointing the other way. Oof, this is rough. Look like there's gonna be anything? Not really. Bring me back. I don't know why we started so zoomed in. Wait, one more time. I need the start name. Ust Nivinsky. Okay. Could have been a town I recognized, wasn't. Hm. We're not getting any points for this one, are we? Problem with that is I don't even have a good idea of the area. I mean, it is fairly dry, which obviously suggests the southwest, but it could be anywhere else, really. Okay. 0.3 kilometers, that's not a town anyone's ever going to find. And we're running out of time. Not going to be anything else. There may be phone code somewhere here. I doubt it. One last look at that sign. Put a pin down. But no, I don't think it has anything. Yeah, you know what? Put me somewhere down here. I don't know. Oh, considering I didn't know, that was pretty good. There's Ust-Nivinsky. There's Georgievskaya. Yeah, probably wouldn't have found that. I mean, I did think we might have been in this general area. I was also suspecting I had a couple of rounds over here, less over here, more so. Where were they? I mean, there's a couple of regions along that border, pretty far south here as well. Was it here? Here. But that's even drier, thinking it's very flat and like there's big empty areas here. Um, but this could have been literally anywhere up here either. Just, I don't know, get there in a dry time and suddenly it looks like that. But yeah, that went well, sort of. All right. Yeah, doubt. I mean, I may have potentially found. I think that was the other town we saw. But yeah, what about the river, the Kuban River? Is that something that I should know? I mean, it goes along here. Might not have been a bad thing to do to try and remember rivers and where they are. Well, it's too late for that now, isn't it? But okay, I'm happy with that. Continue. Right, mobile number, of course. Igor Bay, Igorbevsk. Igorbevsk? Never heard of it. Could be a city. I mean, it was in the place where you'd normally write cities, but I don't know if they sometimes put suburbs there too. How far is Moscow sign? Please tell me. It doesn't. Uh, Voskre, Voskresensk. Oh, Voskresensk is 30 to the west. Yegorevsk. Okay, that's perfect. Let me just once more compare whether that is the exact same spelling. It is, and the street is called Krestyanskaya or something like that. Is the name change here? No. Further down? Kuznetskaya. I think it's like a side street anyway, so should probably check for those. Krestyanskaya, yep, there it is. Do we have a house number on this house somewhere? 8. could be that. Yeah, that is house number 8. I can't go that way, but it's sort of... Yeah, that could fit. What else can I check? I could go there, so I could go to the end of this. Right. That looks about good. Then let me do one last check to see this small little road. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Nice. We actually got a 5K in Russia. Okay. Rent free. Another city. That's in... Well, most of the rounds are usually towns, but I don't yet know how big this is. Might be a bit early to call it a city. M. Surely M doesn't stand for Moscow, but for something else. I don't know, though, what it stands for. It stands for Magadan. It's only like, I don't know, 5,000 kilometers in a different direction. Peace sign. 424. That is Sakhalin. Are we in Yuzhno? It looks a bit small for that. Karvi. Isn't Karvi up here somewhere? Or is it something if I zoom in further? Karvi sounds familiar. But it isn't here anywhere. Is there like... Where else could it be, really? I don't know. Let me continue on for a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Yuzhno, because it does have a similar look about it. Uh, Poronaisk. Poronaisk. Okay. Nice. What do we have here? We do have a road going west, which is pretty rare here. Could be Sakhalinskaya Ulitsa. We have a road east as well, a bit further south actually. Could be that, but... Oh yeah. 2 roads side by side going there, and we should be going, well, if we could, but we should be going to the train station there. We should be here. Let me just try and see if we can make our way there. That should be the train station. Yep. Vokzal means train station in Russian. Nice. I don't think I have in all of my practice seeds, and there were more than 10, ever gotten 2 5Ks in a single Russian seed. All right. Now let's be ready for the downfall. Let's be ready for like middle of nowhere up here or something like that. Okay, it's still a city. Interesting. Again, we'll find out how small or big it is. 866 is somewhere down here. Didn't have a city name on it, did it? Not that I can tell. It fits in the area. It's relatively dry again. Any of you got a city name for me? Nope. Just sometimes, like, if you see a city name on these signs and I don't spot it, I could go and read every single one of these signs very thoroughly, but it's going to cost me a lot of time. So I'd rather just have a quick look at them, see if there's one that stands out, and then continue. And try and see if I can find something somewhere else. I'd like sort of like a town entrance. Thank you. Baksan. Vaksan, I mean. It's 871 Makhachkala, I know that. Baksani, I mean, it's spelled differently, but I'll keep it there for now. Wouldn't be down there, that's too mountainous. I don't think it's down there. Hmm. I don't know exactly where it is. That is a slight problem. Is there going to be any signs towards other cities here? Unlikely. Bring me back to the start. Nothing important, I don't think. Let's see. Pyatigorsk. Okay, we're not too far away from that. Ah, there's Baksan. Ooh, thanks sign. That was really necessary. And it said center is that way. Which makes me think we might be somewhere. There's a triangle here, potentially. That would make sense. Do I have a road name here somewhere? No, I don't. But it should be fine. Road splits up there too. We should be here actually. Nice. Free 5Ks. What's going on? All right, one more, please. Just one more nice location. Maybe. Oh, a mobile number, but it has a city name. There were two city names on there, but I didn't recognize either of them. You have 310. 310. I don't think 310. I mean, maybe. No, 310 is not an actual area code. This is sort of what I feared most in Russia. This is a small town with not a lot of good information, which would mean that I would have to landscape guess if I can't find. This says 310 as well. Now I'm getting worried. Is there a 310 area code? There definitely isn't. What was that? Okay, that's odd. It looks like there's a bigger road. Okay, what the hell is that? Just give me some good signs. Barshevo or something like that, or Orlovka or something. Don't recognize any of those. 381, that on the other hand, should be Krasnoyarsk. It should be Omsk. I'm pretty sure. Have anything else here? Omsk or thereabouts. If you got oh, Novosibirsk. Wait. Novosibirsk. And we're leaving bar something. Can I find it? I can't seem to find it, but that's okay. 14 kilometers. Oh, there it is, buddy Shivel. Yeah, I'll totally take that. That is actually insane. 24,249. My absolute, and I can show you. It's not like I'm just secretly practicing or something. Okay, these were all of these were no moving. Don't look at those and go like, what the fuck are you doing? These were all no moving attempts. I love how my last no moving attempt was 1,000 points, and I was like, yep, I'm ready. Let's go. It helped me an insane amount that it was very urban. and it wasn't super small towns. It was pretty like solidly built up towns. It might still just be too easy of a seed, so like the others all 20, well, they won 25k, but they might get better scores than me. But I've I've done way better than I ever could have imagined. I told Tall earlier, well, yesterday evening for me, that if I get above 20k, I'd be insanely happy. Because look at my practice scores. These are my practice scores from like, and you know, it continues down here. Well, obviously not this. This was a challenge from Mr. Blue because he 25k'd some seed with no time limit. So he was, you know, trying to see if someone else of us could 25k with no time limit. And yeah, and even on that seed, it took me 27 minutes. Basement was done in 15. So yeah. But those were the other seeds before that. It's just, I tried practicing area codes, distinct areas of Russia. Uh, I tried a lot of things. And I know I said like, I said last video that I might just completely bin off Russia and just not practice at all for it, but I got into it a bit at the end anyway. Just tried to get as good as I possibly could, but yeah, all the practice was just oof. The best I could manage to do was 19.5. Wait, didn't I have a better game than that? Could have sworn, but I don't think I actually did. Well, I thought for sure that I had a game over 20k, but apparently I didn't. No, okay. Well, anyway, uh, that was surprisingly good. Imagine if I'd found that. I think like the point where I first put my pin down was somewhere here, but obviously that I can't complain about that. That's insane. I could have. I don't remember which direction I went, to be honest. Let's have a quick check of that. I went both, but I think I went this way longer in the end. I was just thinking about whether if I could have made it all the way over here, but that's like cutting it really close time-wise. But out of curiosity, I do want to see if there is something there. Come on. There you go. That flag might tell some people something. Don't quite remember that letter. Stadionarni? Post? Some sort of post, but don't know for what. But the important part is there isn't an immediate sign here anywhere that's like, hey, I don't know. Well, I did say Stavropol or something like that. So maybe you could make that connection. But yeah, I feel like it would have been very close. Whether I probably could have made it there, in all honesty, but I was too busy doing other things. And even then, I'm not sure if I would have recognized that as Stavropol. I might have checked it, but in the end, I still would have probably been just somewhere in this area. The other rounds, like this one, wasn't overly difficult. I guess, what did I find? Yeah, I found a sign towards Moscow and one towards Voskresensk, so not even any specific knowledge that you need. Find a sign towards Moscow. I mean, you can... Usually, I was kind of thinking, because it didn't show the distance, usually it only does that when you're relatively close to it, when it's somewhere in the vicinity. If Moscow was like 500 kilometers away, it would say so. They knew we were probably around Moscow somewhere, and yeah, Voskresensk does stand out a bit, quite a bit. Then round 3 we had, in Sakhalin. That might be an interesting round. If people don't know the area codes, and if they're struggling a bit to find any good information, if they don't know Poronaisk, if they don't know landscapes too well, I'm talking about Division 1 players, they're going to 25k this seed, of course they are. Anyway, I could see some people making a mistake there. And the 4th round in Baksan. Yeah, I could see people making a mistake there if they don't find the sign for Pyatigorsk, but even then the area code tells you the general area, and I guess I just overlooked it while looking around. I must have at one point been at this zoom level or even further in and just scrolled through it or over it. But I got there in the end. And then round 5, of course, in just outside of Novosibirsk. That's an interesting one. I feel like if you go the wrong way here, you could easily end up not finding anything useful. You'll probably... I was going to say you'll probably find an area code somewhere, but I wouldn't even be so sure if you go east. Let me just check if you actually can go east for a long time here. You could, yeah. You could. I think you can probably even cross those gaps. That I'm not too sure about. You can definitely cross these two. You could almost make it all the way over there. But obviously this is the much better direction. So I'm glad I took it. Is it obvious? Let me go in one more time. Is it obvious from the start which direction you should go? Well, that's a clear and resounding no. Could really be anything. Just want to take a quick look in this direction to see what we'd have here. We have an area code or something like that. 286, that's not an area code. What about this? Nothing here. That could be something. No area codes on that. Interesting. So nothing immediate. That's a phone number. Gas station. You cross a railway track here. I probably did cross a railway track too at some point, didn't I? I didn't actually. Okay. Right. So there's probably too many railway tracks here anyway, so it wouldn't necessarily have helped me pinpointing. But yeah, I am super happy with how this went. And I'm saying that knowing fully well it might just end up exactly like in Australia. Well, honestly, if it ends up in Australia, I'll take the bonus point, but all right. Well, I'll see you guys in a second with the other division seats. All right, let's talk about the other seats now. And I know it probably sounds like a broken record at this point, but yes, I did not have any knowledge of Russian phone numbers or anything like that before I played through these seats to create them for the other divisions. So, of course, as always, if I played through them now, probably would have done better. But back then, I didn't. The Division 5 seat, which we'll start with, was very central, actually, with one location down there in Pyatigorsk. But we started off in the north near Solikamsk. And I did find, I don't remember which direction I went, but I did end up finding a taxi which had Solikamsk on it. But of course, first seat playing Russia. Why would I know where that is? I did. First of all, well, obviously, I had never heard of the town, so I wouldn't have known whether it's even a town name or it could have just been a taxi company name. But even then, I probably wouldn't have found it, considering I wouldn't have known where to even start looking. And I think I found that taxi after like 3-4 minutes or something like that. I did find a couple of other city names as well, I think, but nothing that it was even as big as Solikamsk, and that's not big. Then round 2 was again the absolute middle of nowhere in Ognevskoye, next to a small lake, I suppose. But yeah, I went around for 5 minutes. I found absolutely nothing, and just guessed somewhere. Round 3, then over north of Tumen. Similar scenario there. I mean, look at this. There is nothing here. It's a small town there, yes, but there is nothing here. And I don't think I found anything either. Because what would I even find here? So yes, another round that I couldn't even get anywhere close to. But then we did get some rounds that I got close to. Didn't quite pinpoint, but 4-9 something. Round 4 down in Pyatigorsk. Well, just sort of in the west. And let me just quickly click on it so that I remember what on earth the round was. Oh yeah, I remember now. There's a little sign over there that points to 2 smaller parts of town, I guess. And if you went all the way east, I think around here you'll find mentions of Pyatigorsk. And then I was just looking for Lermontov the entire time. and I just couldn't find it because it was a bit too far out there. I was a bit too far zoomed in, I guess. And I was also looking for kind of an intersection like that. And actually, never mind, I did find Lermontov. Looking at my guess. It's been so long. But apparently yeah, couldn't quite deduce where we were. That's an interesting mountain there, sort of in the middle of the city almost. Mountain Bischdau. Looks interesting on the topographical map. And then round 5, the last one was probably, might have been like through all the seeds, even the easiest. I still didn't manage to pinpoint it because, well, I guess this one rather than this one. I honestly probably must have just overlooked that this had side roads here, but right where we started off here, there were some signs towards, oh, yeah, coverage was a bit odd, but no problem. Novosibirsk in this direction, and honestly, I can just probably look it up and remember. Yeah, Omsk in the other. I was fairly close to Omsk, so not too difficult to deduce where exactly we were. My voice is getting a bit, I don't know, I haven't even spoken that much like today and yesterday, so I don't know why. Well, we can't record anything else today. All right, so I'll try to keep these short as well. Moving on to the Division 4 seed. I actually got 2 aces in that, so not too bad. That was the maximum I got in any of my practice seeds as well. So, well, I did have, well, it didn't take more than 3 minutes actually. Round 1, again, absolute middle of nowhere. I'm so looking forward to seeing how well these players do in some of these rounds because I was so lost and struggling with these seeds. Division 1 was definitely the easiest one. Yeah, not too far away from Magnitogorsk. I don't remember if I found a sign towards it. I might have done, but probably not with too much time left. I can't quite remember. But yeah, obviously, where did I guess? Far East? Not even that far east. Okay. Then round 2 was in St. Petersburg, on a major road. I still want to say the highway location last round was easier because, well, actually, I'd say they're probably about even in terms of difficulty. You've got the Moscow Triumphal Gate in St. Petersburg, because why not? If anything, it's a bit far in the outskirts, which you might not expect. But you can probably, you can figure out that you're on Moskovsky Prospect, then you can probably find it, and because that road's quite, well, it stands out quite a bit, and it is pretty long, but you're probably finding this gate. Round 3 was over here, sort of between Kemerovo and Novokuznetsk, in Chuzovitino. And I don't think I remember what I found. It might have been an area code. No, I wouldn't have known area codes at this point. Then it must have been a sign. Yeah, it must have been a sign with pointing towards Novokuznetsk and Kemerovo or something like that. And then I found it based on the city name. I'm pretty sure it must have been something like that. I don't think there would have been any other way for me to find it. Round 4 then. We've got the aces behind us. Again, middle of nowhere here. Did I get anywhere close? Sort of. But not to the point where I had any idea what I was doing, really. Just a lucky guess, I suppose. In Churkovka. Yeah, no idea. Didn't find anything that was useful to me. And the worst part about these is like usually small towns like that don't even have area codes for you to find. Like they won't have any advertisements that are like, "Hey, call this number." So yeah, it's gonna be really exciting to see how people do. And then round 5 was in Zainsk, and I got reasonably close to that. Although I feel like it was again not based on anything actually. So more so just, I don't know, take a random guess somewhere near water. And yeah, again, but this town is definitely big enough for you to find area codes for sure. I think this is probably not too bad of a round looking at it from the map. I don't know actually if you can, but you should be able to. Right. Then the Division 3 seed. Um, another piece of brilliant geoguessing. Started us off with 2 rounds down there. Round 1, again, absolute middle of nowhere in Peredovaya. Like, even in the small town of Peredovaya, we're still in the outskirts of it. Um, even at this zoom level, there's not even a road here. You have to zoom in very far for it to show up. And yeah, I found nothing, of course. Then this is another one where I'm like, probably going to be struggling to even find an area code, but you might be able to. Let me just have a look now that I actually know how this area looks like. Even then, looking at this, to me, it's not super obvious at all that it would be this area. We go out here. Still, it is hilly, but I wouldn't be sure about this. It also is, interestingly, this part is cut off. But you can, so you couldn't even get here, can go over here, even though these parts are cut off too. You can jump over that and go all the lovely way over to the west here. All the way down here. So there's definitely enough area to explore. But are they going to find anything, the players? We'll see. Russia is a country where I probably would, even looking at that, I didn't actually notice it, so it kind of been a problem for me while playing. But I would probably, even if I had noticed it, I would leave it in anyway, just because you do have quite a lot to go around, and Russia is diverse enough so you can make a pretty good estimation on where you are, and you probably, I didn't actually check now, but I'm pretty sure you would be able to find a town name. So if you can deduce that you're somewhere in this area, you probably, we'll see if someone 5Ks it. I'm definitely expecting people to do. Maybe not a lot of them. Round 2, over, over in Novotitarovskaya, because who needs short names? This is, yeah, I got reasonably close. I don't remember at all whether I found anything or what I did find. Let me just look at it again. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. I'm assuming because it looks like, I mean, there's an airport, there's a bigger junction, that people will not have too much difficulty if they've practiced to at least get close, maybe get the right town. Then round 3 was a bit of an easier one in Kaliningrad. I was just completely brain dead when I tried to play that. Because for some reason, like, I don't know, it's just the fact that the P is an R. If I think about it, it becomes very obvious. Like, I know that the P in the in the Cyrillic alphabet is an R in the Latin alphabet. I know that. But when I see a sign that has a P on it, my brain sometimes just goes, "Yep, that's a P." Continue with the rest of the word. Especially when I think, especially when the rest of the word has a lot of Cyrillic only letters, so I have to focus on transliterating those, and sometimes it just forgets about the P. So I spent a good probably 2 minutes, because this was an insanely easy round, looking for a place called Paz Dolnoye. I couldn't find it. I wonder why. It also didn't help that I think coverage stops here, and it tells you something about the border. So I was obviously looking over here on some of these roads, trying to find a small village. I still have no idea why on earth it tells you about the border here. It makes no sense to me. You're not even close to it. But whatever. Round 4 then was over here. Again, I got nowhere close. In Yerar. You probably, if you keep going, you can probably make your way to the main highway. Where did I guess? Just over there again. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I found much. I found a couple of things. Like I knew Yeral was the town we were in. I think I remember Sim somewhere, but yeah, just couldn't find anything on the map. And then round 5 was right near the Finnish border, sort of on a highway actually, which didn't particularly look that highway like. Yeah, it's just kind of like a road, isn't it? Um, and I found out, like I knew we were or went through Ostrov, I guess, and I don't think I found much else to be honest. And I just guessed near Ostrov down here because I knew where it was. I don't know anymore, but yeah, there it is. I knew it wasn't that. It obviously wasn't that. Uh, this like small village that I went through was way too small for it to be Ostrov, but well, I didn't find anything else, so I thought whatever. All right, then the Division 2 seed, which was actually my best performance on a Russian seed prior to my own seed now, about half an hour ago. But obviously with 3.5 minutes of a time limit, not 3 minutes, and I used those 3.5 minutes on the first 4 rounds. Round 1 started us off in Kaliningrad again, and I don't know why I just couldn't find anything. Doesn't look that difficult looking at it. Maybe I just went south the entire time and found nothing. I don't know. I think I genuinely think that was a pure landscape guess. The landscape told me we were in Kaliningrad, but I found nothing. Hmm, interesting. Then round 2 and 3 down here again. Round 2 in Ladoshskaya. And I did find that in the end, couldn't quite pinpoint it because, well, I don't know. I just couldn't. What did I find here? I must have just found the sign. I remember Ustlabinsk, but I don't know if it was from this round. I probably found a sign towards Krasnodar or something like that. I mean, the main highway isn't far away here, so that seems reasonable to think. And then round 3 on the other side over there, right in the middle of nowhere again. Well, in a village, but you know, there's not a lot outside of that village. And I didn't find anything, as always. And round 4 was actually the only one in the other seeds, it seems like, that was so far east. On the highway there, between Khabarovsk and Vladivostok, in the city town of Vyazemsky. Yeah, I didn't have too much trouble with that. Again, I don't quite remember what I found. Probably no. I'm not even gonna attempt to remember. I have no idea. Well, I'm attempting to remember. I'm not gonna attempt to make something up, I suppose. I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but close enough. And then an actual 5K again, in Pervomaiskoye. And again, I'm not entirely sure. I think I found distances to Gorno-Altaysk and some other things, some other cities, but I don't remember which others. But I do remember finding a distance to Gorno-Altaysk. And then, yeah, just found Pervomaiskoye, and this one wasn't too difficult to pinpoint because it had that like unique Y shape intersection there. Which leaves us with only one more seed, the Reddit League next seed. And this was a sneak peek on how my seed could have looked like. Obviously now with a bit more practice and knowing the area codes wouldn't have gone that bad, but still. That was sort of what I was possibly expecting if we got in a terrible seed. Round 1, absolute middle of nowhere in Pikal. What is it called? I can't even see. Okay, I'm gonna click on it. It is. Come on, look. Okay, whatever. Is it just okay? It's Pikalyovo. Okay, I didn't see the J. Yeah, don't think I found anything. placed myself south of Moscow. Round 2 was just in the outskirts of Omsk. And again, this is probably one that's not difficult if you know what I do know now. But back then, obviously, I didn't. So yeah, didn't get much done. But even then, like, I still think it's also this road looks a bit weird. Why did it guess that's houses? They don't even have houses here, at least not on the map. That looks a bit weird. Either way, it's more difficult than it looks, I think, especially if you go. I mean, if you go the wrong way, I mean, down here would bring you to the highway. Up here would probably bring you into the city. It should be doable, I think. Round 3 was then all the way over here near Irkutsk, a bit further north than that. And yeah, as always, just found absolutely nothing. Even though Uzolye Sibirskoye stands out relatively soon, but yeah, I had no idea. Put myself over there somewhere. Then one round I actually found. And at this point, I was so sick of Russia, I didn't even try to pinpoint anymore. I was like, all right, we're in Pskov somewhere. Screw it. Put it down. We're over here. Should be doable as well in 3 minutes. If you find out you're in Pskov pretty quickly, then you can probably pinpoint it. And then round 5 was over here in Kovrov, sort of in the middle between Moscow and Nizhny Novgorod. Yeah, that's another one where I think if you know area codes and stuff like that, it should be no problem at all. But yeah, I was just too bad at that point. But I always kind of like actually seeing these rounds and seeing these other seeds results from my own point of view, because it kind of gives me a perspective on how much I've improved in those practice seeds and how much better I've gotten at the country. Which is quite nice to see because it sort of motivates me even when I keep losing games because the other players are just too good. But yeah, so that was week 6. Now we've got a bit of a break from practicing for 2 weeks with a hard world next week and then Europe the week after. I'll still play. Well, let's see. I'll play through the hard world seeds for the other divisions and then I'll decide if I play a couple more. I don't think I'm going to play any more for Europe because I've played so many Europe seeds in the past. I don't think there is anything really I should be practicing. I'm just going to be praying that we don't get Greece in it. But other than that, yeah, it's probably going to be fine. And then we're going to finish off the season in Canada, which is going to be interesting. I hope I'm at that point in a position where I've got nothing to play for because I don't want to be in Canada in the last week playing against raidmen under pressure because I need points. That's not going to be nice. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I'll see you guys again next week.